Welcome back to Hanoi, Vietnam, and welcome back to Alliant Motorsports, America's Division 1 pre-season testing. We are here at the particularly tricky circuit in Hanoi that boasts, I believe, 24 corners around a monumentally difficult track, both in traction zones as well as braking zones that are going to test our drivers and push them to the very limit. But we have 5 red lights on the starting grid, and as they go out, we are racing here in Vietnam. The driver's so very careful on the throttle on this slippery start-finish straight as they rocket to the first corner. It looks like Father Sriracha commandingly keeps his lead now into the first corner as we have various collisions in the back. The Renault driver has a lot more pace at the moment. Now, how well he's treating his tires is a whole different story, as it looks like he's going to try to sneak a move around the inside of the long, drawn-out left-hander here in Sector 3, and we are not done yet, as by the looks of it, Father Sriracha lines up right behind the Renault driver. No DRS available just yet, but he won't need it. This slipstream is so powerful here, but he pulls out and then decides to tuck back in. Zay going defensive into the first corner. And look at Anonymous sneaking a move down the inside, making minor contact with Father Sriracha.
Crucial here, Father Sriracha has just lost some end plate, or he's had some kind of damage here on that turn into the left rights.
Oh, you're completely correct.
Pitting.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he's losing a lot of time here in Sector 3, which is brutal without a front wing.
It's Father Sriracha back when he had that wing damage, but unfortunately with a whole lap behind the damaged Red Bull, he's now lost almost 4 seconds to Zay ahead. And more crucially here, he will not have DRS on this long straight that's coming up. So he will be at the mercy of the drivers behind him. All of our soft runners are only at most 11 seconds behind the leader. As Alex Gray makes an overtake on Anonymous on this long straight here, he has it done well before the corner.
Is he? He's enabling that DRS for a move down the inside into the hairpin side by side. They go touching wheels on apex, and he just squeezes his rival off the track. Oh, is that Alex Gray colliding with the wall on exit from turn 1? Now he's defending against his teammate, and it is side-by-side stuff into the next corner. He's missing both of his end plates on both sides of his front wing, and his teammate trying to just essentially drive around him around the outside. They collide now on the inside as well, and his teammate spins. That is Marco. Absolutely, it's critical for Thomas Klein to try to overtake Alex Gray as the latter moves particularly dangerously across the track here on the long straight through the second and third corners. My goodness, Thomas Klein going into the pits. Alex Gray and his teammate, going into the pits as well. And it actually looks like they've collided too, entering the pit lane. Both drivers are on mediums, but Duck Lovers are much newer than the Alfa Romeo driver. Is he going to try and move down the inside? That he is, lining up to the inside. And running wide past the apex of the corner into the slippery stuff, past the curb. And it is Tom Hawk retaking the position. Alfa Romeo driver showing himself in the rearview mirrors of Bato as Duck Lovers is going to try and overtake. My goodness, he collides. And the Alfa Romeo driver pulls cleanly ahead before the hairpin even comes. Duck Lovers trying yet another dive bomb and just running his rival off the road, who then nearly spins the car.
Might be asleep, as Barnes is now 10 laps into these softs and he still hasn't pitted.
Side-by-side stuff between Duck Lovers and Tom Hawk. Oh my goodness. Did he just manage to make an overtake through the third sector? He did.
Let's hope he doesn't make that dive down into. Let's hope nobody makes that dive down into that corner from earlier. That definitely is not an overtaking position. And
no, that's a negative. I believe Zay is going to have to slot in behind his rivals here, or in between them, perhaps. Zay reemerges and splits Varnes and Alex Gray, as he's going to try to time his acceleration to perfection. Now rounding the finer corner, slowly, he guns it, but Zay reads him like a book, and he is off to the races, looking for an opportunity into the first corner, bashing that ERS as he dives it down the inside. And is that going to be the move done for Zay? Not quite, and unfortunately, he is unable to make an impression just yet, switching back to the inside for the next corner.
Is Alex the Great here? Maybe he's looking for another move into this very dangerous corner. He managed to make it clean. Varnes leaves enough space as they go.
Only soft runner, that is Bottsville, who's going side by side with a rival Williams, as well as Tom Hawk in the Alfa Romeo. Tom Hawk dives, the corner collides. Oh my goodness, no. That is going to be disaster for Tom Hawk.
Crucially, out of that DRS range, that will come into effect, I believe, next lap. Sorry, I was wrong about that earlier. Since that does take 3 laps after safety car for it to go active.
He's going to suffer so much through this third sector. You can see Bottsville just darting every which way. Is he going to try and move all the way around the outside? Oh my goodness, the Alfa Romeo driver drifts wide, and both of the cars behind him overtake him now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start a GoFundMe for this man to get himself a Fanatic setup, and he might be beating, well, the likes of Ace Ritchie. Who knows? As Ace, of course, is one of the fastest drivers we have ever seen here on Alliant Motorsports.
As we see
now,
Thomas Klein make a move down the inside here, sorry, outside, on that long straight. But
so I'm starting to wonder, has the Australian driver taken wing damage? Oh my goodness, and he has! Zay Bernice driving, missing both of his end plates, and look at the rate at which his rivals are catching up to him.
Ooh, they almost go 3 wide here into this so dangerous corner that our drivers seem to love to make overtakes happen in, as Alex Gray gets past Varnes. That's some great move right there.
Now, Zay, ironically enough, has less drag because of his missing front wing, but that might not save him from the DRS on board Alex Gray's car. Zay particularly aggressive on the defense. You can see Alex Gray being pushed off onto the exit curb, and that is Varnes now alongside him, emerging in front of him actually and retaking his second position. See some overtaking action in the race. As you can, there's some damage.
Alex Gray has lost end plate.
That's right. That is right. That is Alex Gray suffering damage to his front wing as she goes, oh no, he goes absolutely into Varnes. To the outside of Fuzzy, I'm gonna take a breath because I am nearly suffocating here.
A bit of a, as a certain YouTuber likes to say, hargy-bargy moment there, as they entered the braking zone for that corner, for that hairpin there. Luckily, both making it through without any damage, but they're still 2 wide. Just as they go into the left-right section. You can't really make any overtakes happen here.
Now chasing down Zay. Fuzzy, if Javier wins this race, will this be the first keyboard victory in Alliant Motorsports history? Now, side by side, Javier gets into Zay's slipstream. The braking zone here will be critical. Will he be able to position his car in a way to make it 2 for 1 on this straight? He pulls to the inside, hitting that apex perhaps too aggressively, but he does, and he emerges in front of Zay Bernice and Thomas Klein.
Well, Javier will have to buy Zay a beer or his alcohol of choice. As
oh my goodness, a severe collision between Thomas Klein and Zay Bernice for second place that forces Zay out of the Grand Prix. As this obvious danger is that they might suffer, both of them, a terrible exit. Javier guns the throttle, and Varnes suffers a bit of oversteer here as he loses already over a second to the race leader, Marco. Thomas Klein can make this overtake without DRS. He's mashing that overtake that he saved for the duration of the lap, and they have a very similar collision to what we saw between Zay, a lap of DRS here on the final lap of the race, because the safety car went away with 3 laps remaining, forgive me, and now the 2 racing points going side by side. Your Apex, that is rival, and he's going to try to beat him on traction here through 2 and 3. Both drivers being very careful on the throttle, and the Racing Point driver using all the track and then some. Actually, in turn, is within DRS range, or so very close to Javier, as Tom Hawk moves to the inside of the track to try to attempt an overtake as he collides. Oh no, it's advantage of as long as Javier spots his braking point, but he doesn't. He runs a little bit wide onto the exit curb, but just 2 corners remaining to go. Will Javier take the victory around Vietnam? Oh, you better bet he will. Javier crosses the start-finish line and takes victory. The first keyboard driver to ever win an Alliant Motorsports Grand Prix. Javier celebrates his victory. Well-deserved. An immaculate drive where his rivals had issues with the walls and with the track limits and with their teammates and with their pit stops. Javier drove flawlessly, stepped through the wreckage, and managed to take victory in Vietnam.